My name is Dr. Auburn Ellis, and I'm an artist, a curator, a yogi, a jack of all trades, really, an educational specialist of sorts. And so I think that my relationship with the Laya Center and the Toyia has been very special because it's a place where I have the ability to heal the healer. When we first met, I was teaching probably at 4 or 5 different yoga studios, anything from 116-degree hot yoga all the way to a gentle yoga. And so I was really burning myself out, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so I was really looking for a way to even myself out. A little bit of background about myself. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. And during that time, I was a public school teacher, which is what led me to yoga because it almost just completely drove me insane. But along with the yoga, you learn just certain healing methods that are not necessarily uplifted in Western culture. You learn kind of alternatives to Western culture. So I started doing acupuncture, having cupping, and taking Chinese traditional medicine, and just kind of starting to understand my body outside of like the Western framework of what medicine is, right? And how we should be caring for ourselves, going to the doctor once a year, taking the medicines that they prescribe us and things of that sort. So once I moved to Kansas City, there's a lot less of that going on here than in Chicago. There's a lot less options. So Toyia creates a safe haven for people to understand how their bodies work. I call it my big self and my little self, right? So my big self is everything that you can describe. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, all of these certain things. But if you look at yourself outside of those limiting constructs, like if you're a creator or a healer, empath, things of that sort, you're giving to other people so much. When I teach a class, I'm theming and doing things to give energy to other people. And so the way I started to give back was to take herbs with Toyia, and she would actually make them. Like, I'd go to her house and she would create this stuff in her kitchen. And so it's not something that she's ordering from China or from some faraway place. It's her actually studying the natural systems of the body and responding to them with different herbal remedies. Our relationship started with me, my personal experience, just body-wise. Like, I had a lot of fibroids, and I started doing a lot of research because really it was emotionally daunting for me at first, but I found out that 80% of women have fibroids. Of course, the numbers are a little higher for women of color, disproportionate, and so we experienced that a lot. And Toyia created a fibroid tonic, essentially for me, that would like mold my body and help the fibroids get smaller with the intention of them eventually passing. But once I started to go and do like the Western medicine, I realized that they were too big to pass by this point. I hadn't been really in a lot of pain because of just my health and wellness background, but her tonic really helped them prepare for surgery, like getting a little bit smaller and creating a space where a doctor could go in and successfully do a surgery. And also I started to take a Dong Quai, which has, of course, the Eastern philosophy attached to it. And the Dong Quai helped me to really regulate my hormones. Because, of course, with the fibroids in your body, you are producing a lot more blood. Things are imbalanced, essentially. And so when I started to have these questions about what was happening to me internally, you go to the doctor, they give you a prescription, they say, go home and take this. They're not really giving you any sort of nutritional plan or telling you what sorts of fruits and vegetables or eating habits would really support what you're trying to do. And so Toyia and I created a plan together. And that's part of her magic. She can put something together where she figures out, what your diagnosis is. Well, here are all of the natural remedies that have been given to us to be able to do this naturally. And so once I started to do those things, it led into a couple of months of me being vegan, which I was pretty angry because I'm a meat eater, but starting to look at proteins or how kale or almonds and things of that sort can really curb your appetite because of the proteins or whatever other vitamins sources they are. Helping you understand that was critical to changing my diet and changing my life. So fast forward a couple of surgeries later, well, one surgery later, taking the tonics along with my surgery really allowed my body to heal faster. It allowed me to feel energetic throughout the process, which was really debilitating to the body. And it also helped me understand like what nutrients and other things that I could do to contribute to the healing process. And so after me having my surgery, within 4 months, I was pregnant. Doctors have been telling me that I wasn't going to get pregnant and that I should just have a hysterectomy and just do away with the whole uterus. But after a lot of talks, with Toyia and I and going through these Laya Center herbs, I was able to have a unicorn baby. So that was super exciting. Baby girl's 18 months. She's super healthy. I breastfed, which was also amazing because taking the knowledge that I had from Toyia helping me through that fibroid process, I could then apply that to me nursing. What kind of foods do I want my baby to have? And so I think part of her specialty, of course, is Afrivedic medicine. And that is a hybrid word, of course, of like Afrocentrism and Ayurvedic. So connecting back to my yoga practice, Ayurvedic medicine is very important. That's like the second half of your yoga, right? So you do the physical movement and the breath movement, and then you eat and maintain things through like your Ayurvedic mindset. So it can teach you what things to eat during different seasons or different times of the year or during your cycle, so that you are able to regulate your own body. So since Toyia has come up with this urban brand, it is what she has coined as Afrivedic medicine. So taking that Eastern mindset and fusing that with the African mindset. So this whole line of products has been amazing to me because then I got to move from what was happening to me internally to strengthening externally, right? So working on my skin, working on my hair, products that we use. I can't just go to like Walgreens or CVS and find like the black soaps that are outsourced from Ghana or different moisturizers and things for the body. So I've been able to find a holistic methodology to help heal the healer, as I like to call it. So after I had my baby, I still had some issues with fibroids and things internally, so I decided to have a partial hysterectomy. But I was continuing to take this fibroid tonic that I had started in 2019. We're fast forwarding here, we're all the way in 2023. After the partial hysterectomy, after about 3 weeks, I had, we'll just say I had the passing that comes with that tonic, right? So we are talking about clotting, we're talking about blood, and a lot of things that are kind of stuck in the body. If you think about a stream, if you put a bunch of rocks and stuff in it, it's going to mess up the flow. And so that is what essentially was happening to me. My flow was blocked through these fibroids. And so with the passing, I did have to go to the emergency room because it was very scary. But within my own body, physically, what was happening was it was like bleeding, like tissue coming from the body, but there was absolutely no pain. Every indicator in my physiological body was telling me that this is what was supposed to happen. It looked scary, it didn't feel scary. And when I went to the doctor, if we go back to the Eastern versus Western, the doctors were like, we don't understand what's happening right now. We can't even believe that this is happening. You're bleeding this much, but you're not in any pain. This is all old blood. Essentially what they said, it's just old blood from your surgery and it just came out. And they sent me home. And so I think that some of the things that we do within this Eastern body of medicine is perplexing to Western healers or Western doctors. And we just have to find the balance between those two things. So I think that the Laya Center is a place where you can find Afrivedic methods to be able to either assist just assist with your Western healing practices. You just have to find a medium. You have to find something that works for you. So whether we're talking about skincare, hair care, internal care, and even just creating a plan for yourself, because we each have things that are wrong with us individually. And so it's about that individualized care. And I think that's what the Laya Center can provide for sure. As I started to cater to my diet, take a daily tonic or a tincture, I can also pair that with doing a yoni steam or having a massage. I think the most impactful massage that I had here combined the heat, the cold, and the massage. So we started off with cryotherapy, which makes you so cold that literally your immune system resets and you can feel it reset. And then we warm ourselves back up through the sauna, and it's an infrared sauna. So infrared can really penetrate through the skin and help with all of those ailments that are hurting you internally. And then the massage followed. And so I think when we start to combine all of these earth elements, it can really aid that process. So the practitioners here can provide you with an individualized plan to deal with whatever's happening with you internally. And then the services that they provide at the center can help you externally just to relax, reset, and bring yourself into really a new state of being. I think that the Laya Center is really unique because it offers an Eastern alternative to medicine, or an Afrivedic alternative to medicine. And it helps people understand themselves from the inside out. And also, since it's owned by a Black woman, it gives people agency. It helps people understand the importance of our presence, and especially here in this city. This is probably the only Black-owned building in downtown Kansas City. And so just the importance and the impact of the presence is completely phenomenal.